Welcome to the Passionate Roaditor, TPR, where we stay on the road to keep you safe on the road. 4 days ago, TPR released a video detailing what would have been the likely cause of Jirongo's alleged horrific crash at Karai along the Nairobi-Nakuru highway. That analysis had as a main premise that Jirongo was driving the Mercedes-Benz. But the striking thing about this accident, which is alleged to have taken the life of Cyrus Jirongo, is that if you take it that Jirongo was not the one driving the Mercedes at Karai, the pieces of the puzzle concerning the accident seem to fall into place much more easily. Let's take a look at the evidence that will support the accident being a setup.
Gari yangu ilikuwa na abiria 65. Nikaona nitamwaga watu 67.
There is no evidence so far of the Climax bus having 65 passengers. Till now, a week later, Kenyans have not heard from even one of the alleged passengers, nor seen any photos or videos of the crash scene from the said passengers. Climax Coaches has maintained a studious silence on the matter. The bus company has not come forward to support Tiras Kamau's account. The passenger manifest, a document a bus company should easily be able to produce, is yet to come forth. The actual crash is not captured on CCTV camera. Yes, CCTV footage was released. But did you notice that the moment of impact is not in the footage? Do you believe that Eagle petrol station's CCTV cameras only cover the sections of the highway that fail to capture the area of the crash? Why is the issue of the missing crash moment footage critical? Well, it opens up the possibility that after making the right turn, the Mercedes might have slowed down and stopped on the lane for oncoming traffic. The driver alighted, and then this vehicle came and crashed into it at high speed. There is a clear discrepancy in the buses shown on the footage. It's alleged that this is the Climax bus approaching the Mercedes said to be driven by Jirongo. On the other hand, this is the vehicle that hit the Mercedes. There's a clear difference between these two. It's plain to see. The bus on the right of the screen has bright lights on the side. The one on the left doesn't have those. TPR did some research and found out that typically Climax coaches have this kind of look at night. Note these lights at the top on the front side. Then these lights on the side. In all the videos that TPR has reviewed of Climax coaches being driven at night, there is none that has these kind of lights on the side. From the CCTV footage, this bus looks closer to being a Climax coach, given these lights at the front and these ones on the side, but even that cannot be said with certainty. In the research for this investigative piece, TPR encountered this Climax coach, registration number KDE 155L. Ironically, the message on its rear mud flap is, "Things don't just happen." Which brings us to this bus. The damage does not seem commensurate to a high-speed crash with the Mercedes. It seems there is another vehicle, this one, that crashed into the Mercedes. Enter the suspicious Probox. This Probox that enters Eagle petrol station following the Mercedes alleged to be driven by Jirongo is now a subject of interest. It was clearly trailing the Mercedes. It doesn't seem to have entered the petrol station for what would be considered as normal business. And then, directly behind it, as if on cue, is the Climax bus that is said to have hit the Mercedes, although this, even now, is doubtful. Check how the Probox parks. Note that this is at 2:19 a.m. The Probox driver gets into Eagle petrol station and goes straight to park strategically, such that its occupants will have a full view of the scene of the accident. A coincidence? I think not. It's highly unusual for a car to park this way at a petrol station. Keep in mind it was the very next vehicle behind the Mercedes. And then right behind it is the Climax bus alleged to have hit the Mercedes, meaning that the three vehicles were in a convoy on the highway. That is, the Mercedes, the Probox, and the Climax bus. It opens up the possibility that all these players were in constant communication with each other, or at the very least, they kept sight of each other. When the Probox stops, the driver exits and seems to inadvertently give away the plot. He alights the vehicle and straightaway begins walking towards the scene of the accident. According to this CCTV camera angle, the Probox driver exits the car at exactly 2:19 and 37 seconds. If the footage from this angle is to be believed, then the accident took place at 2:19 and 25 seconds, meaning the Probox driver exited the car 12 seconds after impact. But notice the body language of the Probox driver and the other occupants of the car. There is no hint that an accident of the magnitude to destroy a Mercedes this way has just happened tens of meters away. What we can deduce from this, given the behavior of the occupants of the Probox at a time that the high impact crash is said to have taken place, is that it's likely that this Climax bus did not hit the Mercedes. Another vehicle, this one, came and hit the Mercedes, which was likely stationary, hence the lack of the CCTV camera angle capturing the point of impact. Could the occupants of the Probox have come to secure the scene and build a false narrative? The Probox had at least 3 occupants, these two and the one who opened the door here. Why is this Probox suspicious? Because it now brings up the possibility that while trailing the Mercedes, the occupants were in communication with others, and specifically, the driver of the vehicle that was to crash the Mercedes at high speed. There's a man who comes to open the bonnet of the Probox, but this seems to have come as an afterthought. This action to me looks pretentious. The fact that this Probox was right behind the Mercedes is an irrefutable clue to suspicious activity. Then behind the Probox was the Climax bus. Coincidence? Jirongo allegedly entered Eagle petrol station and left without fueling or even stopping. We are expected to believe that Jirongo drove from Nairobi to Karai only to drive through a petrol station and then turn back towards Nairobi only to meet his death at the exit of the petrol station. This simply doesn't add up, especially in light of the fact that his close friends were with him earlier that night, and he had not indicated or hinted at a journey to Naivasha. No police officer has spoken about the incident on camera. The National Transport and Safety Authority, NTSA, is mum on the matter. With the approaching speed of this bus at a designated speed enforcement section, one would expect NTSA to have said something about the accident. NTSA's silence speaks volumes. Whereas pathologists concurred that Cyrus Jirongo died of blunt force trauma to the chest, abdomen, and injuries to his spinal cord, this assessment of Jirongo by his close friend, former Vihiga Senator George Khaniri, is telling.
The face had scratches, not serious scratches that can cause death. Just small little scratches, you know, 1, 2 on the chin, 1 on top of the eye. Scratches, not deep scratches. So that is what I saw in Naivasha before we loaded the body.
How is that possible from a forceful accident that resulted in this kind of damage? Apparently, there were no eyewitnesses at close proximity. So far, Kenyans are in the dark as to who was involved in extricating Jirongo's body from the car, if indeed he was extricated from the Mercedes at Karai. This footage shot from a distance is all that is available. Kenyans are known to lend a helping hand in case of an accident, but for this particular accident, a cloud of darkness surrounds the immediate aftermath, which is highly unusual, but not unusual if it was all a setup. CCTV captures the first person to approach the Mercedes at 2:20 and 25 seconds. This person is walking from the direction of the petrol station. Could this person be one of the occupants of the Probox? Crucial minutes immediately after the accident have not been revealed. From KTN's coverage, the immediate aftermath of the accident is captured to some extent, followed by a 29-minute jump from the time of the collision to 2:48 a.m. when there is a traffic jam due to the accident. Citizen TV covered the accident and 40 seconds after it took place, when this vehicle passed the Mercedes. Neither KTN nor Citizen TV illuminated what transpired in the first few minutes after the accident. Those minutes would have revealed a lot, but as Kenyans, we remain in the dark. Tiras Kamau opted to give his side of the story standing right in front of the Mercedes he says he crashed into, allegedly killing Cyrus Jirongo on the spot while carrying 65 passengers, none of whom we have heard from. This is diabolical. The fact that Tiras Kamau came out to defend himself instead of waiting for police to do their job and absolve him, or his employer to issue a statement on the account of events, is not only odd, but points to a rush to draw a narrative. It is said that a lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes. In this instance, however, the truth is catching up. All these 12 points this Christmas lead one to question the authenticity of the narrative that Jirongo drove himself from Nairobi to Naivasha, entered Eagle petrol station at Karai, turned and rejoined the highway only to face an oncoming bus and remain in its path. Which leads TPR to concur with Cyrus Jirongo's close friend, former Vihiga Senator George Khaniri, that
the circumstances leading to his death, to me, are suspect and disturbing.